Welcome, Maud, to Hemaa Voices. I want to get to know you, want to hear your story, want to hear the different parts of Maud and how she's impacting the world. So tell us, who is Maud?
Thank, thank you very much, Papa. I hope you can hear
Yes,
me
we
well.
can.
Um, it's it's such a simple question, but I see it to be multifaceted. My full name is Maud Ajeli Sean Elliott. My born in 81 and the firstborn of four children. Both parents are late, and yeah, I'm somebody. Let's just say circumstances made me a natural leader. So I think I take charge everywhere I go naturally. I think it just comes naturally. And I've accepted it and I take responsibility and I just go all out, for whatever responsibility I'm given. Uh,
And when you,
Family-wise, I'm married. I'm married. I have three biological children, a boy and two girls. And several that have been adopted. I have one physically living with me, and the rest are being taken care of fully by, normally it's half one, normally one parent is not alive. So the other parent is being supported to take care. But all these children come home during vacation. Home is my place. They all come home during vacation. And I make sure that during vacation, I have time to nurture them, to guide them, to counsel them, to encourage them so that they'll be good and responsible adults when they grow up. My educational background, um, I my secondary school, I went to Wesley Girls. I undergraduate studies computer science, BSc computer science at KNUST. I did an MBA, MIS at Legon, an MPhil MIS at KNUST, PhD at University of Ghana. Yeah, what else? I could also talk about my professional life. I could say that I have been a teacher my whole life. I started teaching right after secondary school. And even while I was at KNUST, I was teaching the various villages close by at Kote, at Didiakon. Interestingly, I wasn't teaching maths or science, which are my strengths, but I was teaching French. Why was I teaching? I needed to work to take care of myself because mom had passed on. And if I don't do that, there was no way could I could survive. So I had to teach. And that was one. Another thing I was doing was to cook for my classmates. So I made sure I cooked. I made sure, as class president, I made sure we didn't have lectures on Friday. So I could go to the markets and, you know, make time that day to cook. But I got to a point, it became a bigger business. So I had to partner with the matron at Indes Hall, Mrs. Mesa, and we cooked with with two of her staff. So every Friday, so Saturday dawn, you need to come for your meals. So that was a business that doing on campus. And another one that I was so proud of was to gather the children, the sons of the janitors or in the porters, and put them together and I mean, make sure they washed. It was like a laundry business. They washed the items of the young men at the hall, and I used that medium to, whilst they are washing, I was preaching to them, encouraging them, and whatever money they made, gave them part and saved the rest for their secondary schools and all that. And now all of them have finished university and are doing well. Okay. Um, so I've
Uh,
been a teacher all my life. I've been a teacher all my life. I mean, and another thing I do is counseling. I see that now I have accepted it that that's my call. Of course, when we teach, we counsel, but I see the counseling as a calling now. And I I invest time and resources because it's most of the time they are the people I end up counseling sort of get some form of deliverance or get the opportunity not to take, their lives and to advance and not to give up. And that's important.
it
What
sounds to me
other things?
more.
I do a
It,
lot.
sound, it
Yes,
sounds to me
Papa.
more that you found your purpose in life, and it seems like everything is unraveled nicely, connected beautifully. You've demonstrated how you're truly impacting the world and impacting the people around you. In fact, you have a very beautiful story with all these people's whose lives you're touching. And that makes you a very valued member of Mihima because this is the type of modeling that we want to see in the Mihima community. It also sounds very authentically African or authentically Ghanaian. Your need to make sure that you're feeding your classmates and they're not hungry. That natural leadership that comes upon African women, especially when they are older among their siblings and they have to take care of the siblings, while they are growing, which is tough, but the women generally tend to pass through this when they're growing up. Your entrepreneurial ability, however, your focus on teaching as well and sharing and doing this, I kind of get the sense you do this spiritually as well. So I think that's very amazing that you found your purpose and that you're touching so many lives. And we're very grateful for that. And I'm hoping that a lot of people would take advantage and connect with you. But there's something you've not mentioned that I know you're very passionate about. I know you're especially passionate about women and women empowerment and children. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
All right. Thank you. Um, let's just say I'm a mom. As you said it, I think naturally, wherever I am, I decide to take care of people, mother people, both male and female. But leading my year group for almost a decade, I mean the Wesley Girls High School 2000 year, it's I learned a lot. I learned a lot. You Everybody would, I mean, that is the perception. Everybody who has gone to Wesley Girls High School is doing well. Everybody who has gone to Wesley Girls High School should be confident, should be great. But when you start leading, and then they tend to, I would say some would sort of confide in you, will speak to you about their fears, will speak to you about how society are perceiving them, and yet that is not where they are, and how that kind of force is rather making them depressed. You get to understand that society it affects us both positively and negatively. And that made me take the stance that listen, there are women that need help. There are women that needs to be empowered. Everybody have their strength and weakness. But I know, moving with these women, you realize that some just needed some form of little push, little encouragement, some little kind of mothering. and then they find their purpose. And that is how it started. So I decided that, listen, that is what I'm going to do, no matter the space I find myself in. And the interesting part is that my space is the tech space. I'm a I'm a systems analysis by profession. You know, the tech space is very broad. Everybody, database, that, no, no, no. My space, my specialty is systems analysis. So I'm a systems analyst. But within the tech space, you and I know that the women that are operating there are not many. They are not. What do we do to get the numbers up? Let's start from JHS. Let's talk to them about the field of tech, where it's going. It's a very interesting area. It's a very viable area. So we start engagement from JHS, SHS. I mean, JHS because they need to select science mainly for T space. Else they might not get the opportunity. So quickly, that's the work that was done. And then at SS, of course, when you do science, there are a lot of things open. Most of the time, the professions that are normally mentioned, medicine, pharmacy, I mean, the medical side and the engineers look at the tech space. Now, when they find themselves in the tech space, the women are not many. Hence, if you do not get them encouraged, empowered, you pushed, they might not survive. I did computer science. How many of my mates stayed in that space? How many? How many of the females? I mean, we are not even a lot. So how many of us stayed in that space? We are not many. So you need to be intentional about this. So in the tech space, this is what I've been doing. I've been given a lot of, I've been I've been engaged in a lot of speaking stuff. So I've been doing a lot of speaking engagements, especially on self-care for the woman in technology. I during COVID, how women should use IT for work-life balance. I also deal with I do a lot of talks on stress management. I'm telling you, when you program, when you are dealing with all this, it's overwhelming. So the ladies who are in that space must be encouraged, must be shown the way. How are we doing it with family life and still, doing our programming, doing analysis, our projects management, and being enveloped in other things, church, even at your workplace, you're chairing committees. You're also, I mean, presidents and vice presidents and other civil society organizations. How are we doing it? And that must be shared. And then you get to also mentor other young ones and hold their hands for them to also come up. So this is how this woman empowerment thing was birthed and is still and is still progressive. And this is where we are. This
Interesting.
is where I am.
So a
Yes,
gay girl showing the way, living pure, speaking true, right and wrong, and following the king. We had a few of your gay ladies here last time over the weekend. I think one of the mates probably lost her dad, so they were coming to support her. I think it was West the Girls 2000 group. My sister is actually 2000, and I was at your last speech day. We joined to celebrate with them. So we're here all the way. Now, for the sake of our audience, how long have you been at Hemaa, and what has been your story since you joined?
I haven't been a member for a long time, but this is what I have observed within my short time joining, is that it's a space where when women ask for help, I mean, it doesn't take even 10 minutes. There are several recommendations. And that tells, it gives you a sense of it's a home. And then it's a well-networked, a well-connected, group. This is the sense I have. And that is very important. That no matter what your need is, somebody will hold your hand and make sure it is achieved or sorted. And that is what I have observed so far.
And what would you like your story to be after you've been in Hemaa for a year? What should we be expecting from you?
I'm ready to mentor and I'm ready to be a mentee. Um, I want to be, I think, I want to experience I'm saying I've been teaching my whole life. Sometimes you need to experience the other side a bit. It's not that I'm deviating, but I'm just thinking, what would I want to use my 2 years sabbatical leave for? Wouldn't it be nice working a UN in a UN agency to learn how the corporate, the humanitarian space is like? Something different, so that when you come back, you share what you learned. Sometimes when you're in your space for too long a time, um, you end up losing steam. So let's see. So I'm ready to mentor. I'm ready to be a mentee, and then I'm open to learn new things.
Well, personal development is one of our key pillars, so we're very excited to hear that. So, Maud, to wrap up, let's quickly say this. Can you tell us what else there is about you? Those who want to hear your voice. And what do you want to tell the world?
Thanks for the opportunity. Um, One thing I love doing, which my children feel sometimes is weird, is gardening. I love gardening. I love plants. You'll be shocked when I see that how I behave when one of my plants, withers or dies. It's as if a human being has died for me. You won't believe my reaction when I see it blossom. Now there's a new flower, I'm so excited. How I feel when I feel that my plants are not doing well, are not growing the way they should do. They should. That is one thing that means a lot to me. Plants are life. They are just like us. They must grow. They must look good. They must produce. There should be fruitfulness. So what I'm saying is this. Our existence
Why do I
must
have a
have
feeling
an
that
impact.
you talk to your plants as well?
I do. I do. I do. I do. So all I'm saying is our existence should not be an alone moment. Our existence should impact others. And I remember one sermon that resonates with me. I I preached it, 2 Kings 4. We all know that story of the widow whose husband was in debt and the creditor was coming for his sons. But this is what the Holy Spirit showed me with that scripture. What he showed me was your existence depends on your neighbors. Your existence depends on what you have in your hand. Your existence depends on what you give others. So what I'm saying is, when the prophet came into her home, he asked, "What did you have in your hand? What did you have?" So we must at all times have something. We should have something. It could be knowledge, okay? It could be money. It could be time as a resource. We should have something. It is that something that is going to be multiplied. Multiplication increases things. So if you do not have anything, if you have zero, when we multiply, you'll still get zero. You should have something. The next thing is when he was about to bless them, he asked that they should go all out and bring vessels. So didn't you realize it was easy for them to just go all out and collect vessels from their neighbors? He meant they had a good relationship with their neighbors. So your advancement in life is connected to your neighbors. Have a good relationship with the people around you, the people you meet, all walks of life. Have a good relationship. Because I'm telling you, they would have an impact in your success tomorrow. And then, so when they brought them in, brought their vessels in, they poured it, you know, it was getting full. But it got to a point where the vessels were finished. And then what happened when the vessels were finished? The oil ceased. What the Holy Spirit told me about this thing, if you do not want your oil to cease, if you do not want your blessings to cease, pour oil, pour oil into other people's vessels. So I remember the picture he showed me, that your vessel is up there and there are other vessels down there, and these vessels are also connected to other people's vessels.
Mm,
And this way, your oil will not cease.
mm,
The oil, what is it? The impact you are making on others would also flow into other people's homes. It could be money, it could be knowledge, it could be anything. And that must be done. That is, let's not allow our oils to cease, our blessings to cease. We have all the opportunities that we have to make other people okay. And I can attest to the fact that these people will be the same people who are going to recommend you, going to be the same. I have I have an experience to share. You
mm.
know,
Go
in
ahead.
2000 and in 2006, I remember I was doing my master's at KNUST. I had just finished my national
And that's what
service as
that's
a
the MBA. That's the MBA in management information systems.
yes.
Okay.
I had just finished my I
MPhil.
was a TA at the computer science
Okay.
department.
Okay.
So I was just moving on to do my master. So I went to one of my porters lodge at Indies Hall. So anytime they see me, they're excited, all because of the way I was able to develop their children. So anytime they see me, Madam, Madam, and I was just smiling. So I went to the Porter's Lodge, I picked up one of the newspapers, and I saw an advert for they needed directors or people to sort of help coordinate the Ghana 2008 event. And I looked at it, I said, these people, by the time they published it, they would have already recruited already. And then one of the porters said, Madam, what are you talking about? I said, come and look. Daddy, look at this. This position, I can handle this, you know, but I'm sure they have given it out already. Then the next question he said, "Do you really want that job?" I said, "Well, if I get it, why not?" Because at this juncture, I have to pay fees, I have to do this, I need to do my master's, I'm getting admission, everything, but I don't know. All he told me, that is one of the parties. All he told me was, "Madam, can you come back on Sunday? I want to take you somewhere." I said, "Hey, you want to kill me?" He said, "No. Hey, no. I just want to take you somewhere on Sunday to introduce you to somebody who is involved with these sports things." Papa, that was it. Not knowing he's a caretaker of one of the big men
Mm,
who is in charge of the Ghana 2008. The man has a home in Kumasi where that is his getaway, a place where he could hide and breathe
mm,
and have his
mm,
me time. And he was the caretaker of that house.
mm.
And that was it. I got the job.
Wow.
I got the job.
Mm,
And I promised the man that I'm going to do my best and he'll be proud of me. He said, "Oh, we know you work too hard, you know." So you should never, the people you think that are going to recommend you, no, 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 God will use others. That's your mind. You will never be. So that is how I was able to, that was the job that helped me to take care of myself during my master's period.
interesting.
So let's just, because I never knew that I mean, I didn't even think that way. That's how God did it. And God, so let's not let our
And
oil
if, and
spoil.
even
Let's
and
pour
even
into
when they
it.
were giving you the this thing, you were afraid. You are allowing the spirit of fear to try and control you.
Yes,
Interesting.
yes.
Interesting. You know,
But it
I've had this
worked. And
discussion with some people recently on that same
yes,
scripture you were talking about. Yes,
oh, okay.
it ties to the whole idea of how we claim we're hungry and always act like we're hungry, but we don't have capacity. So we keep praying for rain, but we never put buckets outside. And even when the rain is
Hmm.
coming and we have buckets, we take little. So a lot of times we sit down and we
Hmm.
cry, but what we don't realize is that when we're given the opportunity, we don't stretch our imaginations or we don't stretch our vessels to take on the blessings that we're praying for. So most of the time, the limitations come from us.
That is
And
true.
I think this is such an apt
That is true.
message for Mehema because I think one of my biggest frustrations on the Mehema is when a Mehema queen calls me looking for something and I say, "Have you even tried with your sisters?" And most of the time, by the time they're asking me the thing, they're like 10 or 15 other people who have given them an answer on the platform. So I think this is really good stuff. Very, very, very good stuff. Thank you so much, Maud, for connecting with us. Is there anything else you'd like to share with us before we go?
Oh, no, I think that's okay. Because I do a lot of things. I try to make time for people, but I also make time for myself. And that is something I have been doing to encourage a lot of women to once a while pause, pause, and then
So,
take care of yourself
so
first.
what can the average Mehima lady reach out to you for?
Okay. I help with okay, on the professional side, I think recently I've been doing a lot of speaking engagements on online safety because it's important that a lot of our children are with us, but they are not. They need to learn to know how to raise these children, and there's our tech time. So it's something I've been doing. I just realized, no, we have kids with us. They are with us at home. They have these phones, and we think they are with us, but they are not. And we should learn how to handle or raise them in this age is important. So that's one thing. Another is to teach them how to handle stress, how to take care of themselves, how to manage, how to work-life balance, work-life, these things. So I do that as well. Yeah. So these two, I'm always ready to, sometimes I need to, because I handle these students, I'm able to, let me know your life. Let's see, even we deal with diet, rest, how we manage your day to day to reduce your stress. As students, now a lot of mothers are having children, are going to school, uh, and they are overwhelmed. No, I'm ready to run us through, and how do we do it? Because I give you the things on my plate. If you're wondering, do I have time for myself? Papa, I have time, Papa. I have time because I need to take care of myself. And because if you do not take care of, how do you carry others along? How do you do it? This is it. So I'm ready to hold our queen's hand, to let them feel okay. I do career counseling. I do marriage counseling. I think the counseling thing, I've been running away from it, but because at first I felt it was difficult, but until I let the Lord lead me. So, and that's it. It's easier because it's Him. I'm just a vessel.
Yeah.
It's Him, but I'm just a vessel who is just guiding people through their time. So, but the interesting thing is, this thing I'm doing easily now. I have been through them. In marriage where you get to a point where you want to divorce,
Yeah.
where you get to a point where no, you want to stop everything because you are tired. So it's now that I've come to understand that you go through these things because the Lord wants you to experience them, and you're going to use that experience to lead others so that they don't fall. Because not everybody that can come out of it. It's not everyone. And our duty is to lead them so that they will not lose the way. They should not.
Amazing. Well, thank you, Maud, for brightening our day today and getting us excited. I hope you will look out for the Mehima Mummy's Corner, which is part of the Mehima platform. There are a lot of mummies there that keep
Okay.
sharing insights with each other about ways to guide their children, and I think you'd be an amazing resource there. Of course, we also have the book club where we're constantly reading and sharing insights so we can learn. I'm sure you see the lady also with the
I
word
joined
of.
today.
Oh, you joined today. Amazing, 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 exciting. So there's some great resources that I think you'd be helpful in. And also I think we should get you to do a fair trade on one of our Toastmasters clubs. There's the Mehima Toastmasters Club. I'm sure they'll reach out to you as well. Yes. So
Hey,
yeah, there's some pretty exciting stuff on Mehima, and we'll keep exploring and keep growing it and get there. So thank you so much, Mod, for your time. And
welcome.
we should be airing this in the third week of November.
Okay, that's fine. And thank you for the opportunity.
You're very welcome, my
I
queen.
see this as an opportunity.
You're very welcome. Thank you too.